And welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris, bringing it to you here from Westlake Village, California. It's bright and sunny. It's a beautiful day, and I'm going to jump right in here to Bitcoin's price action. Bring it in here on the 4-hour time frame. I'm going to take off these Bollinger Bands here, and what did I want to identify here is this. Bringing it back to what we spoke about yesterday, we did have bearish divergence forming, hidden bearish divergence, 3-drive variety here, and that's coming from this high here. So we got 1, 2, 3. This actually would be the 4th, which is why I'm a little bit more downside angled on the shorter term time frame for Bitcoin targeting a move. You know, we got the 4th drive of hidden bearish divergence, and that would at least give us a move down to 28,750. We didn't get quite down there yesterday to that $28,000 target I was talking about. Here's the caveat. The caveat to that is that the NASDAQ is rallying right now, and I'm just going to pull NASDAQ up here real quick and put it on the daily time frame just to take a look. And as we're looking right now, that's a bearish engulfing candle on the daily, and that would give us that shot we said yesterday. Very likely NASDAQ to get a shot up to the yellow 21 off of the confirmed hidden bullish divergence, which is coming back from this point right here. And no, not right here, but from this point here, we've got 1, 2, 3, call it 4 drives of hidden bullish divergence. And that should target us a minimum move up to 12,866. And that is going to be right in line probably with the 618 fib. Yep, that's right in line with the 618. And since Bitcoin is tracking almost 1-to-1 with NASDAQ, that's why I'm a little bit hesitant to be looking for that downside move on the shorter term time frame range. So what Bitcoin would need to do to kind of copy the NASDAQ is close today with a bearish engulfing. And I'd say that would at least get us a bounce to 33,535. And with a small pullback from there and probably continuation to fill the gap on the CMEs, which is coming in here right at 34,670. Call it 34 to 35,000. So that's kind of my short-term bounce target. And then how would it get invalidated on the other side? And it does look like even on CMEs here, we are going to play out that bearish divergence with any kind of a closure here in the next 13 minutes. And that would be how many drives of bearish divergence. So coming back from this high right here, that high right there. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 drives of bearish divergence. So where would I target a move on this? It's always hard to tell where to target the move off these drives of bearish divergence. But at the very minimum, you know, I'm looking at the 0.5, which is probably coming in right there. Let's see. 0.5 coming in at 28. And then if we're going to bounce it and save, you know, the day, right? We just don't want to see really any 4 hours back below the 618 there at 27.8. So that's, I'll just put in a little pocket right here and look for that to be the bouncy area on the shorter term time frames. If we start breaking back below, I'd say with a 4-hour closure back below 27.6, I'm looking for a move back probably to the bottom side of the range, at least 26,915 with a small bounce, and maybe fills out that wick one more time. However, everybody else is pretty bullish in this market, pretty bullish, saying that the bounce is in, the low is in. I'm not really going to be convinced of that until I'd say at very least a 4-hour on the CMEs closing back above, you know, this green 55 right here. That would probably be good enough for me, and that's coming in at 32,000. So either way, I do think we're going to mount an assault back to the green 55 at some point. The question is, do we come down first or do we go up first? That's a big question. Only time will tell, and let's see if any of the shorter term time frames can give us an indication on the hourly here. I mean, everything's pretty floppy here. And, you know, the hourly, we kind of got this inverse head and shoulders and this neckline coming in right here. And, you know, an hourly back above 31,560 would probably get us the beginning of the move. Even an hourly above 30,900, probably going to be good enough to kind of get this thing going in the right direction. It will cross up above 30,506. So where is that coming in on the hourly time frame? So it's got to go all the way back above and this is on CMEs, but back above 30,503. And that would flip the hourly Stokes momentum back to the upside. And I believe, volatility is about to expand from a low level on the hourly time frame. So probably going to get a, 2 or 3% move here soon. And yeah, typically, we got the silver cross right there. That's typically your buy with a stop loss somewhere right around here. And you'd be targeting a move at least to the top side of the range, probably around this guy right here at 30,900 on the CMEs. So how does that line up with what NASDAQ is doing right now on the hourly time frame? What do you know? Very similar chart, this inverse head and shoulders, and the hourly needs to close above 12,529. And that probably does give us that move up to the 12,866. Following up on a few other coins. So generally with Bitcoin right now, are we likely to get some kind of a bounce? Yes. When you get huge red volume like this, I don't think capitulation has set in yet. Bounce target off of this is going to be somewhere around the 618 on the high side, the 0.5 on the low side. And then, I wouldn't be surprised if we just spend some time consolidating at these levels, somewhere between 34 and 25 for a little while, for some time at least, unless NASDAQ wants to really pour itself out here. It's going to take some time for a lower high to be put in on the daily time frame, which that's probably when Bitcoin puts in its lower high, right around where a NASDAQ does. So where do those bull traps come on? The 618. So does that happen in another day when we get this pullback? I don't know, but we'll keep an eye on every day, watching the NASDAQ, watching Bitcoin. Let's take a look at gold too. Gold kind of holding its own this year at about 1,800. Where is my gold? AUG, is it? I'm going to have to go to my other list. There it is. Silver, too, playing out a little bounce. What do we got on silver on the daily? I mean, silver got wrecked and took out some major lows. If silver can't reclaim this level, it's not going to be good for silver. Silver taking it on the chin, breaking down below this massive range. I mean, next stop down here is about $19. Do we have any divergences playing out here? Higher low, lower low, not necessarily. That would come back from March of 2020. What was silver in March of 2020? Silver was at $12. So that was the last time the RSI got this low for silver. And that's typically a bouncing region when you get down to a 20 read. That's pretty low in the RSI. So typically you do get some kind of a bounce. Looks like we are getting a bounce up to the support or the resistance line, which was the support for some time, just over the last year. Silver breaking it down here. So Can we get a bounce up to, 23.40? Yeah, but as long as we are closing dailies below 23.40, I'm going to expect a pretty decent move to the downside on silver. Technically speaking, next shot down to 1926 on silver. Gold. What is gold doing here? Playing out a bit of a downswing, and looks like, next target for gold coming in at 1753. Can we get, a small bounce here? The dollar's been skyrocketing to the moon. That's why, gold typically goes down when the dollar goes up. Same thing with stocks, same thing with Bitcoin. When the dollar goes up in value, it's bad for risk assets. I don't know if you'd consider gold a risk asset, but it does have an inverse correlation to the dollar. Basic Economics 101 says, if gold was denominated by the dollar, every time the dollar goes down, gold has to go up, and vice versa. So it doesn't always work out that way, but I'm just going to briefly say, with gold here, if gold cannot pop back, and close, let's see, on the daily time frame, gold's got to get back above 1918. Otherwise, it's going to be lower highs and lower lows for gold for some time. And really, we're going to have to take out this high now. Now we have a lower high and a lower low. So trend continuation. What about on the weekly time frame? We still on the weekly time frame, would this be a slew of lower highs coming on gold here? We got could this be a little bit of a double top and the market just keels on over? I don't know. It depends on what the dollar does. Gold is probably going to, trade in a range for some time, I'd imagine. Kind of like stuck in the mud. But if gold wants to come back and really take out this low of 1750 on a weekly time frame, I'd say that'd be good enough to, send a move down to 1679 at a minimum. I don't know how helpful that is, and who's watching gold. Back on to some of our altcoins here really quick. I'm going to wrap up this video. Did we talk about the dollar? Another reason why I'm kind of inclined to think that, so the dollar hit our target of 104.83, and we are now going to be coming down to the 9 exponential at a minimum of 102, call it 102. So I'm going to raise that target up here. And as the dollar goes down, what typically happens, risk on assets typically have a bit of a relief rally. This thing is macro bullish. It'd have a macro breakout here, and it would be okay for the dollar to come back all the way to 99.59. I think that's what, Mr. Powell would be happy with. Other than that, so dollar coming down, good for stocks, good for Bitcoin to play out a bit of a bounce. Where's the measure move on this thing? On a weekly breakout, which we just had on this macro consolidation. Wow, this is crazy. So from this high there, yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the dollar head up for a macro target breakout of 113, and that probably happens, over 6 months or a year or two. The dollar moves pretty slow, but that is kind of I don't know how we're going to keep an eye on that and how it compares to what Bitcoin and NASDAQ do. Altcoins to check in on. I know a lot of people wanted to hear about Ethereum. Mr. Ethereum, let's take a look here. So got important support levels in here. Basically, Ethereum needs to hold that 1856 level on the weekly time frame. How are we looking on a daily? So Ethereum on the daily, again, very similar formation to Bitcoin. Do we have any divergences with RSI making? Let's see if I can even get in there. Oh. So RSI is making, no. From this point here, 1, 2, 3, if this confirms as a higher low, which it did. So it's really hard to see here, but on the daily time frame, if we go back to this point right here, that'd be close enough is close enough. So 1, 2, 3 drives of hidden bullish divergence, and that's where price is making higher lows and RSI is making lower lows. Price is making higher lows, RSI, excuse me. Is that right? Price was making, yeah. From this point here, RSI is making lower lows, but price is making higher lows. So where does that fact get destroyed? And where am I immediately looking for markdowns on Ethereum? Any kind of a closure below 1800. And that's not going to look pretty. And next target down is going to be right here. So I'm just going to move this guy up here. So with a break of 1789, I'm looking for a targeted move down to about 1530. Otherwise, this thing's going to do whatever Bitcoin does, probably bounce alongside with it if we are going to play out a bounce. There are, several drives of hidden bullish divergence on the daily, which would have been confirmed. Actually, we really just need a daily closure back above, call it 2200, 2300, something like that. Probably good enough to confirm this as a local low. Should give us a shot up to 2,700 if we can do that. Somewhere a bounce between 24 to 2,700. And again, that all gets invalidated with any kind of let's go down to a shorter term time frame and take a look. What would be good enough to do it for me? Calling a downside move. Let's see here. Yeah, 4 hour back below 1958, and I'm looking for a retest of 1795. Vice versa, we can get that closure above 2400 and looking for a move up to 2782. It's pretty easy to use these fib tools, and if you do want to learn how to set up TradingView, there's a link in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching the video today. I hope you liked it. If you did find it helpful or useful, just go ahead and give us a comment or a like. And there's a link in the description below. If you're interested in putting Bitcoin or crypto in your IRAs, there's a really simple, easy way to do it. And we'd love to show you how to do that. So have yourself a blessed day. Take care. I'm signing out. Be back tomorrow. Take care.